Come on, let's do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied, whatever it is. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Come on and do it. Must have knocked it down. Oh, there it is. Welcome, one, welcome all. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your host, Eight Wind. Eight Wind is timeless. I am the holder of the continuous ball game created by the Hero Twins. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am your galactic daddy-o, sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And tonight, I have a couple sponsors. We have Breckenridge Brewery, and I believe they are located. Where are they located? I read it earlier. Here we go. Colorado. Wouldn't be surprised if they have a slight relationship with Coors, but this is a pretty good beer. And Lurking Class for hooking me up with this today. This was a very unexpected kind of thing, and I left all my other stuff I wanted to bring. But shout out to Lurking Class. I have something else that I'm gonna put on this wall, but this was like, okay. So pop them if you got them, smoke them if you want them. Now, as you know, I've been doing a little alchemy and just figuring out different ways. Now, this is this is some CBD lotion, and there's a lot of different grades. This is 250 milligrams or 250 milligrams. And as you can see, my hands are still, I guess on the camera it's not as bad. Well, you can probably see my nails. I usually don't keep my nails grubby, but the sugar it just gets grubby. But I guess it looks darker to me than when I guess it's coming off. So I guess that's acceptable. I don't really see the difference. But what I did is I carried some stuff, but got some walking in and put some here and put some lotion, and I put just the straight powder in it. Like I put the sugar powder in it. Definitely kind of the same feeling with like the sugar paste, really deep penetrating, and even with this leftover, the sugar is really good. Now again, your own skin tone going through the day, but at night definitely a good option, especially putting on your legs or your joints. Now this bottle I paid probably a little too much for it, but it's helping a local dude. About to take a big hit too when they ban all the flavored cigars and all that nicotine. But so he has this stuff, And so I'm going to keep working with the Sugarite to try to see the best way and bring in different type of CBDs. I don't know. This is now I get it. It's strawberry, and I just wasn't really thinking when I got it. But long run is something like this is fairly inexpensive to see if you put it in your joints and does it help you. Uh, and the Sugarite, I'm gonna try to see the best way to make that with the oils, give that a good mix. So, Brother James, as always, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Rocky, what's happening? Thank you, Rocky. Hey, Edward, what's happening? How you been? PJ, what's happening? Oh, I'm feeling really smooth. It's been a smooth day. Chocolate chip cookies for me tonight. Oh, that is outstanding. Oh, that is outstanding. It's just funny. Just chilling all day, not really doing a whole lot. I'm gonna help somebody tomorrow. That's having something procedure, so gonna help them out afterwards and get them comfortable as possible. Yeah, and that's hanging out with my daughter. We walked a couple miles, going to the store in the back. She rode her bike. I walked. So I did like dang near 5,000 steps yesterday, and I did 2,300 today. And it was like, well, you didn't do what you did yesterday. And yesterday I was like, what did I do? And I was like, okay, I guess I went through a few different places. But hey, Jay, oh, very kind words. Just a very chill day today. Oh my goodness, moving stuff around. I ain't even hardly got my stuff ready. My stuff is gone. That's all right. That's all right. I didn't have not a whole lot of things is going on. Other than the same thing of being fooled all the time and fear programs. And it's almost like you watch some of the events around us. And it's so funny that it's like just in months, the rhetoric is changed. Making one the villain and not the other. And it makes it hard to watch. But one thing that doesn't lie is the numbers and the money. No matter how much they want to change the rhetoric or attack on a given thing, the money is consistent to see more of the truths. What is the money saying? And that's the little advices I try to give, because it's easy to be fooled and it's easy to be scared. I mean, so it's so funny. How is every place else? Is it seem normal? I mean, I'm still hearing commercials that say if you don't have to go out, don't go out. But basically, the traffic here is the pre-traffic. I mean, we got traffic and it's back. Oh, and my dyslexia is just crazy. So this is how it works with me. If I have in my mind that the place I'm going to is a bright orange building, that's kind of how it's going to run with me. And I saw the one building, and I think I looked to the right, and I just missed, and I drove like just driving. Missed my little appointment, but I'll be able to make it up tomorrow. But it was just like, man, it's rough. And then Rodney Dangerfield said, it's rough. It's just rough. Like I was right there. And then when I backtracked, I almost made it, and the place just closed. So I was like, wow. What other chains you are wearing? Chains? You mean necklaces? This is just this is the Verja. This is the Verja in motion. These are my two crystal Verjas. But the Verja in motion, all 8 sides. This is only the 6 sides. This shows all 8. And it's like I could buy an 8-sided one, but I wear this and work with this more. So that's all. Yeah, just Verjas from the Verdas, kind of fractals, and like the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Opening picture shows in the one of the ancient beings holding a verta. It's I wouldn't say it's a trident because it's more than a trident. Trident is more limited than what this really is, and the potential of it. So yeah, that's all. Oh, the chains are just gold and silver. Oh, and this is Motivite. The Motivite, the gold helps the mental aspect. The silver is going to make Motivite do what it's meant to do. Orange is a very bright and sunny day. Oh, okay. Long time no see. Oh yeah, Edward. Stefan, hey, what's happening, Stefan? I am trying to raise myself up above my lower self. I'm a Sagittarius. You appeared in my dreams like maybe 1.5 months ago. I was trying to get somewhere, but you blocked me. Wow, I blocked you. Wow, wow. I blocked you in your dreams. Wow. Did you feel just the word would be, hmm, that's interesting. Guess I would have to think about that to give a response. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Okay. Then maybe I was able to help. Wow, because I really don't try to do that kind of spell. I definitely don't try to do that type of spell on people because I know other people that have done that. And so I never try to put that out there. Oh, huh. But okay, yeah. Hero Twin, what's up, Derek? Oh wow, that's deep, Rocky. I think about it. I have to think about it and ponder it. Wow. There's supposed to be images of the diamond cutter in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. They're supposed to be Varja diamond cutters. Oh, okay. Yeah. You was nervous. Wow, that would make you nervous too. Mm. There's supposed to be images of the Varja diamond cutter. Wow, I'll look. Yeah, there's this one I recently got has more pictures than my older one. That is the older model based off the older model. This one is a little more modern written. But yeah, the other one is the Paja. It has it have sometime it had a triad head Buddha, but it have a blade. And I've said that before. It cuts through ignorance. That's what that is about. It cuts through ignorance. Actually, it should really be shown like this. I mean, this is the same thing in Americas. Let me see which one is it. Too many books. Yeah, I don't really have anything up here that would show that motion. But yeah, it's the same symbol. But yeah, it cuts through English. You stopped him from going somewhere he didn't need to go. I hope. I mean, that's on the positive side. I hope, because I make no. Well, I'm. I don't make any kind of definitely any kind of attentions. But if it's a positive part of my being that could positively um, help someone on the journey, then I'll say that's possible. And my intention was never to step any boundaries other than this. Matter of fact, I'm sitting on a boundary. I've got double boundaries, and I even got all this boundary. So yeah, I never try to go beyond myself like that. But that's deep. Varja diamond cutter is very powerful form of enchantment that cuts through the massive number illusions. Yeah. All the illusions. Yeah. And you can get those just like this one. China's the only place I really know that makes these. And you can get but you can get the like mine, you can get them made out of brass. And what I found is the brass ones, and I've had that. Wow, 14, 15, man. Yeah, before I lived here. I bought that when we were still in the house. So like 15, 16. But you can get the other one where just wear that like that. Yeah. Or even meditate with this. I mean, my other one had a thing with it. It said that you can work with it. I find the metal one now that it's tuned in is dynamite, or the brass one. It took some years though of working with it. But like I said the other night, it put me in such a deep shift. I was like, oh, yeah. So now it's a little more reactive, but years of using it. But still, but they cost about the same. So this one was cheaper. You can get these probably 20, 30, 40 maybe. Because I took it to my guy and I was like, what is this? Is this quartz? And he's like, yeah, this is quartz. But in each kind of material too will do different kind of experiences. Like just wearing this gives you a kind of a I don't even say it's enlightenment, but I mean it's just for me, it just really gives me the ultimate balance of moving through, and then especially speaking and trying to put the right information forward in a positive way and be a positive person and have positive effects, positive, negative. Hey, Overstand Mocha, thank you. Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page was one of my favorite wrestlers. Interesting. Do you have on blood types of humans? Not really a lot. Not really a lot of studying that. Um, like I know my families, but just like in general, I haven't studied that a lot. Like if Jody pops in, she might could answer some of that. She would have a little more insight than I would. So I really couldn't add anything to that. I really don't haven't studied any of that kind of thing because I look at what purpose for me that would that really have, and it's so and looking who controls the information too. So that's the other thing. It's like who's controlling how that information comes out, even because they're like you have to look at like some movies and they say they got to take the child or something to a special doctor. Well, there's people that have these good doctors for all this stuff. And so if it was a certain people, these people would just be seen by their types of doctors that treat whatever, if it would be different than from what's general, they would have a system already set up where they're all treated by them. I would even dare say hospitals, sub hospitals. So it's hard to gauge that kind of thing on what is the difference. Does it show a more ancient type? I know my little niece in Wisconsin. She was trying to say that her blood is a certain type, and that she's a type of what they call them star child. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I really that's not something I have spent a lot of time studying, so I couldn't really add to that because of just what I mentioned. So it's just the information that comes. Aggie Pride, the one. What's happening? Bringing that Aggie. I see the people are getting ready to. They're going to have the ghost show October, I guess. And to me, the best way if I would go is to see if I could buy a house down there and go. Uh, Hated it when I was there though. Where's that? I figured it was a positive thing. I like your views on thing. Okay, Diamond Cutter. Oh, what part of is she from? She lives south of Ivor. She is south of Chicago for about 45 minutes. So one of them little small towns, not far. Trying to think, Southern Illinois. Like I don't know, not even probably far from Peoria, going down south of Chicago though. And then she just got another place, so maybe she moved somewhere around there. But I tell you what, she was showing herself walking through the parks, and she was seeing in big old pieces of big selenite in the parks, like big old pieces. You're not supposed to take the crystals when you find them like that, but people do. But she walked by some big crystals, so I don't know what park that was. So I forget the name of the town. Nets looking weak without Harden. Yeah, I noticed they got handled tonight. But they've been pushing because the Lakers had 2 games up on Dallas, and so they've been pushing Dallas, and that's without Porzingis. So, but that's why I'm saying they are not going to let the Nets win. They're just not. I'm still sticking to Philly. Now, Lakers, they could sneak the Warriors in there. That's the other agenda that it appeared that it added up to, because that still will. The Warriors would. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't think that's what they're going to do, because it's too much they'd have to play. They'd have to play extra games just to move on. So I don't know if that's what they're doing. Davis didn't come back tonight, so that was interesting. And they didn't play inspired ball. It wasn't like the Nets played great, or it wasn't like they wasn't playing inspired ball though. So so scripted Bucks Clippers last year, I think. Yeah, yep. It was the Clippers won tonight. That's who beat them tonight. The Clippers beat them tonight. Beat the Lakers, and what's the name? Didn't come back. Nets can't win. It's not a good look. No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. That's why you see that Irving got just fined 25. He got fined 25 racks. So, but that ain't nothing. You write that off anyway. So, but he got fined for not doing interviews, because that's part of your contract, or part of your obligation to the NBA, is you have to make yourself available before or after games. And I guess he's been like blowing that shit off. But I don't see them putting him in. Yeah, I don't see them putting him in. I'm looking at the hockey coming to end of the season, and the poor Wild, boy, they just lost a couple overtime games, and they've been playing well, but it's like, man, they had the games and just gave it back. You know how they do the scripts, just gave it back. I noticed Barkley said this would be the craziest playoffs this year, and sometime that'd be his role to try to give hints too. That's the part about watching all of them, because sooner or later they kind of tell you a script. Clark Kellogg told a little bit about the upcoming playoffs. Some of the stuff he said early that I noticed and commented about came to pass. So that's how you kind of got to watch. That's the thing of watching the talking heads, because they do end up coming with this script because they know it, and they come in. And because this is the thing, they know the script, and then when it's all over, they have the counters, you see, on the sides of what happened, but they know this going in. And you can't be in watching that thing and be that close and not see it. I mean, these people pretend, but it's just news. They just pretend. It's just what they say. Don't call it a show. Call it a program or some shit like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, so that's the thing of watching them. Definitely is they end up telling. One of them is given some prior information, and he just kind of says it off the cuff, and it'd be like pertinent what they say. So it's they're going to have more fans again. Kentucky Derby had 51,000 people. So most basketball arenas only 18, 19. But if they say 9, 10, still going to be pretty decently people in there. And maybe by the finals, they're going to let more and more. Because just as I started with tonight, life is back on. I don't know what happened, because I ain't never slowed down, but it's a storm. I mean, it's like how it really fires people out. So I guess some of these goofy people around here was staying in, but not these last couple days. Like we had that 80-day Saturday, and it was traffic in the morning. Like, whoa, what's all this traffic? I almost had to go another way and go around. But it's just patience with driving. It's just patience. It's just patience. Is there a Rogers capping? Yeah, he doesn't really have any. The only leverage he would have if he don't show up. That would be the only leverage. But mainly, yeah, I think he is, because he has no leverage. He signed for another 2 years? He signed for another 2 years. Now, it's not impossible to get out of contracts, but they don't have to. Now he's never liked that coach, and he's to get his feelings hurt. Like Brady got his feelings hurt looking at Jimmy G's perfect passing, and he didn't want to look at that. Brady didn't want to look at that pretty pass in Jimmy G. If he was passing against the with the scout team, Jimmy G putting that ball in there, Brady didn't like seeing that. And so Rodgers took that attitude when they got a young player. And already they're trying to say the player's a bust. But they've picked a few quarterbacks that ain't been that great helping them out. So I was reading one thing because, the Packers don't really have an owner. They have a board. It's like the people that buy their tickets that's kind of the people that have season tickets. They're kind of members that keep the Packers going. They're the only program like that. And one of the writers was suggesting that is why having that kind of ownership, it's hard to make them hard choices as far as coaches, general managers, and things like that. It seems like the way it's set up, it hinders them having this system instead of having just a basic president or owner. So they suffer, it appears, a little bit from that. But he doesn't have any leverage. Sitting out, Willie, at 37, can you afford to sit out? 37 when during the season, you can sit out a few games, but just to miss a whole season. 38 come pretty quick, and that passing, them skills with the road. Is Minnesota lifting restrictions this month? I think so, Derek. I think so. I mean, it's people lifting restrictions themselves. So, a lot of the Democratic held places is trying to slow. Was Hannon my guy? What does that mean, Rob? Was Hannon your guy? I don't know what that means. Do you know if these players sign an NDA? I would. Well, like I've told the story before. This stuff goes back to when they go to college. When the top players go to college, they sign agreements then. But even the player that may not have played much, this is what you have to understand, and I've said this over and over again, is these are lifetime relationships. So you've played these sports, and maybe you at the end of your road. Well, that don't mean it's the end of life's road. That doesn't mean it's the end of influence's road. So these players play the game. They play the game, the life game. So that's why I know some instances, but no, they want to be part of it. Now, if you do go against this, yes, this is a very, very the fraternity is very strong. You see when they try to the people, okay, this is the numbers come up and the people croak on these days that have meanings, and that's where I agree with Zach. These days they're not just croaking for anything. So they see this system too. So they know they can be touched. So that's another thing. They know that somebody could touch them. Who was that?
Huh?
That's Sean?
Record City. LOB.
Because that's their package right there. Somebody had opened it. Yeah, that's theirs.
Somebody opened it?
Yeah, I got maybe the dog. I don't know. So that's why. That's why they keep these packs. The fact that they are publicly traded by the people makes me like them. Oh, yeah, I feel you. And that they were good when I lived in Wisconsin. Oh, okay. Just means what's up, my brother. Okay. What's hanging? Oh, okay. I got you, Rob. What's that? Do you think the U.S. will have another lockdown? I don't know. They've already banned the movement in India. They've already banned the movement in India. But yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt again tonight. The one he got hurt. He ran into the table goofingly. I don't know if it's going to be another lockdown here. I don't think the states will follow suit. The small states is trying to get their small businesses back running, or not small state, but Texas and Florida trying to get all their economy back running. And again, this is one of their peaks, so they're trying to attract everything. So I don't see it getting that serious. Again, this thing, they like money. I mean, inflation is going to come. There's no way all this money spending is printing is not going to cause inflation, which we haven't really seen in a while. I mean, already the gas is, what was the gas? 64, 65. The average place I saw was all 60, 79. And I was able to get it at 60. I think it was 60. It was, wow. 69? No, it wasn't 366. It was 361. So they gave me a pretty good deal today. I don't know what happened today. I just bought a couple waters or something. Yeah, I got it at 261, excuse me. But most places was 279 because when I was going, and then finally I was like, I didn't went too far. I had to turn around. But I noticed the place, I was like, this is the cheapest. So that's what I paid today. But I think it's around $65. My other phone has all the stocks and stuff. I mean, I guess this one does too. My phone was about to die. I wasn't about to, it did die. So I don't have the Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Here's the Dow. Dow was up 34 points. See if Bitcoin will flash through here. Nike was up. Verizon was up. Yeah, but I don't know. I had to reset my phone. I don't have as much comprehensive coverage as I do on my other phone. So, but watch the money, watch the money. I should be a daily thing. Las Vegas is a damn clowning show, man. We turned it to California. Has it, Rob? Wow, we turned it to California. I know a lot of people leaving California. Indy has 1 billion people now. Their numbers are high. That's what they say, but it just, I don't know. I look at that, Derek, as the same way they were showing in Italy. Same way at first they were showing in China. So I don't know. Yeah, they're coming here. BTC is at 53K, I think. Yeah, they're coming here. Okay. 53K. Wow. Okay. That's why, I know they can't wait till the Raiders open up. All the money they put in that place, and that owner is not a billionaire owner. He's a high millionaire owner, the Davis guy that inherited the team. So, it took a lot of help from a lot of sources to get that stadium, to get him to move the Raiders there. But they're going to be probably merchandise-wise, they've always done well. But I even think with that push, they're going to do really well. And they're going to make the team be competitive. But teams are going to love going there too. That's going to be another push. That's why they want a team back in Seattle, because people love going to Seattle. Seattle has such a smooth nightlife, and it's just an all-around cool city other than the rainy season. That's why even here, it's stuff to do. I've told the story before. I'm such a fuddy-duddy. My uncle was like, well, what is stuff to do here? And I'm like, he's telling me stuff. I'm like, yeah, I really don't know, bro. I don't really go around and look at this tourist stuff. It's just caught me by surprise. Like, I've never been to the Lake Minnehaha Falls. I've never been there. So, but it's not far. It's not far from here. As a matter of fact, on the way to go see my mother. They've made into a site. Oh, wow. They made it into a site. Wow, Rob. Hey, Mr. T Gaming. Raiders and Redskins, the Super Bowl within 5 years. Just watch. Interesting. Rocky, that's interesting. They made it. They've done that most places. That, you see the Spike Lee commercial. Spike Lee say you can Uber there. You can free Uber on Spike. Like, I'm trying to Uber, yeah. Trying to take it. I'm trying to take it, y'all. So can I get an Uber? Raiders and Redskins. That would be interesting. But when they give the Super Bowl to Vegas, things are probably going to be pretty close back the way they were. I don't know if it'll ever be stone like it is. There's going to be a lot of what is the word I'm looking for? It's going to be a lot of discrimination coming in the future on who can go to these events and what it takes. And do you have to sit back upstairs, like it used to be? You colored folks sit upstairs, we'll sit downstairs. So if you show your thing and then, you can go to the movie without being covered up. If not, you got to be covered up in the movie. Like the smoking and non-smoking all over again. That's what they're going to turn this shit into. Watch. It's going to be smoking and non-smoking. Watch. Should we give Vegas the Stanley Cup? Shit, they almost won it that first year, but they made them do the same thing that happened when the Washington Capitals first came in. That's how they did Vegas. When the Capitals first came in, they went their first year, they made it to the Stanley Cup, and they lost the same way they did Vegas. They made it to the Stanley Cup, and then they lost. But they got interest. Matter of fact, I really was thinking about getting one of the all gold. They got gold jerseys that's kind of nice. Even though it has the squire head or the knight head, it's still kind of a nice design. And I'm a jersey lover, sweater lover. I love that kind of stuff. And that's how, I've dressed my whole life wearing jerseys and stuff. That really never changed for me. Still something that I like the art in sports as well. I like art. And the jerseys are and the hats are part of the art. Like if you look at even what a thing that pushed baseball hats back was a dude named Sean Salisbury. That's why quarterbacks get paid, because Sean Salisbury was the backup quarterback. He's about my age too. I can't remember what school he went to. But this cat, when he was keeping the chart, started wearing baseball hats. Nobody was paying him. He was the first one to do it. He was the football director for Ever Given Sunday. I think Sean Salisbury did the football scenes any given Sunday. That's to reference him. And now that's why you see quarterbacks go on the sideline and put the hats on. From a dude that just started doing it he liked hats and nobody said nothing to him. I guess he looked at himself being on the sideline, getting a check, just keeping plays. He's like, shit, I could be sweet with this hat. Other things I am now, and I see the mockery involved with that. Oh yeah. It always is. Yep. It always is a mockery. Where do you think Aaron Rodgers will play? I keep telling you, we're like, there you go. Rodgers, I don't know. Vikings would be a good spot for him. Real good spot for him. I don't know that. I think they're going to keep Cousins. They got that rookie quarterback, so I don't even know if the Lions. Because that's what they were saying, that he might get traded in conference. So Lions is another one. Is they sold on golf? Obviously, I don't know. To me, I don't know. I look at that trade as like stupid on both sides. It's like you traded the same guy. One team got the old version. One team got a newer version. I didn't understand that. I didn't see what he saw that to give that up for Stafford. Yeah, they saw him coming. That was a good pickup by the Lions. Now, are they sold on him? It's hard to say. Rodgers on the 49ers. Yeah, that could be a trade. Yeah. Salaries would almost be a push. That's a good point. Salaries would almost be a push. I hadn't thought about that one. Let the rookie sit for a minute. That's a good point. Pulling the Brett Favre move, yeah. It's the same. That's what you see is they use the script all over again. Yep. They got Jimmy G, don't they? Yeah. And they drafted a young guy. But they could trade Jimmy G for Rodgers, and the money would be almost about the same. Matter of fact, I think Rodgers beat him. Salary per year, but pretty close. That would make the most sense as far as money wise. When they tell you it's a salary cap, that would make the most sense. So, but yeah, that's the same they did with him. Yep. Yeah, and the 49ers got the rookie too. They got the rookie from North Dakota. He's from here though. He's from Minnesota, and didn't get any offers. He was the first number one pick that had his passing attempts. He only had something. I mean, he only played what? Didn't play a lot of football. So what? 7, 8 games, something like that. Like one game from last season and a few games the year before. So, some guys just have it though. I mean, some guys have it, and some guys they write it in the script. Remember Dak Prescott, his rookie year. Remember, and then they lost to the Packers. But remember his rookie year, they went into it. Remember, they only lost. I think they went like 13-3. They was the higher seed and lost to the Packers. We talking about Rodgers. Rodgers threw an out, and they kind of gave him the game. I mean, right on the bullet on the sideline. So we've seen it before where they let these young guys, Mahomes, they let him go so far, but couldn't beat Brady did. So we've seen it before. They let the rookies get so far. So it's just a lot of posing. Aaron Rodgers get paid $15 million to host Jeopardy. To me, that's a safer move. And he could do it till he's 1,000. He could be 1,000, sitting up there. Like Groucho Marx was old as hell, and they was putting him on TV. And he had a long stogie. He was sitting there flirting with girls. He's about 3,000 years old. They remember the movie The Mummy? That was really Groucho Marx. But yeah, that's to me. You on TV daily. What's a better deal than TV daily money? TV daily money compared to dudes trying to knock you down on Sunday once a week. I think the daily TV money for 10,000, please. People trying to knock you down just ain't a good job. It ain't fun. That ain't fun. Yeah, they put him on assignment. But why? I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. Yeah, they put him on assignment. That means they sent his ass to the minors. But they were stupid. I mean, he was like, what was he? He had to be 99 when they signed him. So what did they expect? Then they found out recently he's about 260 years old now. So, that was their bad. They thought he was 99 years old. So take your old ass down there and play with them triple A players. Yeah, but he don't care. That man gets so much money. He get paid no matter what. No matter what. He's union paid, guaranteed money. He had 10 years of guaranteed money. When he was about 70, they gave him something like that. Guaranteed money when he was 70 years old. That's too much. That is too much, guys. That's why they did him like that. You see him be like, Albert, man, how old are you, man? How you got great-great-grandchildren? They're not calling you granddad. They said great-great-granddad. How old are you? Old are you? But that's what that's what they get. That's what they get. Get a lick. I'm glad he got the lick. Whatever they say, go down there. Don't matter. Had some great years for St. Louis. Yeah, he took them to a World Series. Still in hitting, he has hitting Hall of Fame numbers for his batting. He had a bunch of gold gloves, first base at one time. So he'll he's a Hall of Famer. He definitely is. I would agree. He has a Hall of Fame career. I want to speak a little, since we're on sports, I want to speak on this. I was reading an article about Willie Mays, because Willie Mays is the oldest living ex-ball player at 90 years old, which I find amazing. We just lost Hank Aaron. But Willie Mays, 51, he came in the league. Jackie came in the league at 47. Willie Mays came in at 51. And actually was probably, people vote him behind Babe Ruth. He missed basically 2 seasons in the Army. Like you see, I mean, people that watch sports, like he was the first one, and he said he studied it from Don Hudson that played with the Packers on how to catch a ball over your head. In football, you're taught to catch a ball over your head. You're taught to run, look up, spread your arms, catch it while running. Baseball, you wasn't really taught that. But Willie Mays learned that from Don Hudson, being able to run like that with a baseball mitt and catch it over his head. And that's the MVP trophy, I think, now is that play. Something, yeah, showing that athleticism. And not only that, he catches the ball, he turns around and he nails a runner or he keeps a runner from moving forward. But if they wouldn't have taken 2 years away from him, he would have clearly passed Ruth. Played in cruddy stadiums that wasn't meant for home run hitters, whereas Aaron's stadium was meant. Even Bonds, that was one thing that Bonds benefited from, is when when San Francisco moved out of their old stadium, they made sure the new place was going to be a better hitting park, and Bonds benefited from that. That hurt Willie Mays. Both places that he played, it was hard to hit home runs. So it's amazing that he hit as many, but he was probably the most complete player to ever play, as far as stealing the bases, and he played in the Negro Leagues as well. But as far as stealing the bases, being something like a 12 or 14 time Gold Glove person playing center field, and won a championship early in his career. And that's one thing they did to Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. Early in both of their careers, they won World Series and never did again. They never did again. They won early in their career and never did after that. And so that's just still an amazing man at 90 years. Now, telling the whole story, kind of a sad story. He was, again, from Alabama, wasn't very pimp savvy, and married this kind of pimp girlfriend. I mean, this girl was kind of like, he put her in the circles, and she took advantage of being in the circles. She was giving her circle to his circle. And so she put some stress on him. She saw him coming. He didn't see her leaving quick enough. But that was the life of the man. And despite all that, still did well, still is loved. I was thinking about my cousin gave me, and I was still wondering how he made this thing. But he gave me, it wasn't the baseball cards, but it was pictures of all his cards was in something. He cut all his cards up, and he shellacked it on a board on both sides for me. And he gave it to me for one of my birthdays. So I had a thing of all his cards on this kind of shellac board. I remember my cousin gave that to me. And I thought about that after hearing about Willie Mays. And this part of history that people don't know that this was once a way that these people became, from nothing, became really something. In a time where it's still meant to be something. And it's always, all this stuff has always been scripted. That's never been different. Oops. I bring my water in here, but I didn't bring my cup. Oh, I didn't bring my cup in here. So why Babe Ruth had melatonin lineage 8 win? What's your opinion? Yeah, Ruth did. Ruth definitely had some melanin in his past. It just depends on how deep you read. But there's I don't know if maybe it was his mother's side, but yeah, you find that on his mother's side. I think his father was Italian, but I think his mother had some melanin in her. It's kind of what they were saying, because it seems like she's written out of history, because his father, I think, owned a bar. If I remember right, his father owned a bar, so he grew up on the bar. Haven't studied him a whole lot. Learned a little bit about that. I mean, now, I was talking about Willie Mays. You talking about Ruth pitched his first 5 or 6 years and won World Series pitching for the Red Sox. He won before he went to the Yankees. I think he won 2 World Series already. before playing with the Yankees. So, and then they paid to stop the Red Sox from going under. That's what the Roof trade was about when he went to the Yankees. But he was a very talented person before home runs was a real thing, where he could hit and he could pitch, though. Pitch complete games, but hit. Strong hitter. And they switched him to outfield because he had a strong arm. But and then he played, studying him. I would say he was either played reform school baseball or he went to a Catholic school or something like that. Can't quite remember. Maybe he went to a Catholic school. But under the watchful eye, and they developed him. And then they made him, it was Jack Dempsey and Babe Ruth and Red Grange. In the 20s, 30s, the greatest athletes was and this is not including Negro Leagues, but as far as pop culture, was Babe Ruth, Red Grange, and I just forgot the boxer's name, Jack Dempsey. Okay, my cat's about to break my picture, so hold on. Come on. Yeah. I didn't even have my doors open that long. He ran his fat ass up in there. Oh, I had to take the verge off. Oh, it's heavy. My other chain is lighter. Hurts my neck. The Lakers look bad. Yeah, they don't seem to be scripted. I'm not sure. I don't know. Still the numbers. The numbers is hard to beat. They say Italians have African blood in their veins, thanks to Hannibal. Nice pictures of cats. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes, lurking class. It's cats and skulls. That's the lurking class. That's his art. But yeah, it's that cat mind. The where baby comes from the Plant Panther. But thank you. Well, it's interesting about Hannibal and what he did. They said he might have only had one or two animals as far as the elephants make the trip, but to fight them, the hit and run missions for a good, 10 plus years. But the thing that doesn't make sense is he had Rome. He defeated, like one of the biggest mass defeats is he killed almost 300,000 men. And there was nothing to stop him from taking Rome. And then they tell you that he just decided to regroup. His generals we've killed their army. There's nothing to stop us from taking Rome. And he doesn't take Rome until Rome gets enough defenses to supposedly fight him in history. That's a part of history that made no sense. They wiped out all of their legions. 300 and some men. And as you get this information, it's just wild to think how men could kill with knives for hours upon hours. I mean, if you really think about that type of combat, to being close, you're still in lines and you're just killing and you're moving forward, because killing is moving forward. You move forward and kill with just knives and your shields. And you still try to fight off of each other as you move forward. Because it's like I tell jokes, you have to be able to see who you're going to kill next while you kill somebody. You have to see who's going to get it next as you plunge to somebody and you block here maybe and then kill here. I mean, just can you imagine that kind of fighting? Hours of just killing. And there's a movie, and I talked about this movie many times, and I can't find the movie. I always thought it was Sonny Chiba. I'm pretty sure it was a young Sonny Chiba. But it's literally like 7 or 8 or 10 of them, and they kill hundreds of people. But the end of the movie, like they have to kill these people on these like small little hills and shit. And so that was like the battle scene where they just rushed whoever was this little group. They would just rush these hills and they would whoop their ass because there's people attacking them from everywhere. But they would just whoop their ass off these hills, and then they would go in the valley and whoop ass. But at the end, they done killed like the whole people in the valleys on all these hills. And at the end of the movie, they look back and they show the devastation that the 8 or 10 people killed. It was like, if you remember this first scene, which they was facing, seeing these massive army in this range. And then at the end, they show you the opposite, what these cats did. I can't find that movie again. I was at whole tripping. I don't know if I was a freshman in college. I don't know, but I saw it one time and I can't find it again. Maybe my Kung Fu people, maybe Jody can ask them brothers. But that's how it had to been like. Like you see an army of 300 and some thousand people. This is miles of people. And hours of fighting. Now, a lot of times they would regroup when it got too dark, pull the dead, but yeah. War is nothing nice. Nice picture. Slicing and dicing, yeah. Like in the movie 300. No, it was different than 300. This was a black and white movie, and it was 8 or 10 of them. And it's not the movie they took from the Fantastic Seven, the Invincible Seven, or whatever. It's not that movie. The one with Denzel, the one with Yul Brynner. It's not that one. Magnificent Seven. It's not the original Japanese movie called that. It's not that movie. Because I watched that movie. My boy was like, it's this movie. And I watched it. Wasn't that movie. Because they're fighting almost like in trenches and shit. And that one in the Japanese versions. It's like they had a little moat or something in the Japanese village, and they was fighting them, making them come in the trenches. It wasn't that movie. These dudes was facing some people in miles on these like hills, and they just stormed them and killed all these mugs. And I thought it was a young Sonny Chiba, but I've looked up his movie thing, and I haven't seen him anything like that. So, but it's my point is that's a lot of killing. Yeah, and yeah, you could look at it 300 to see how long of the type of killing that would be. That's just a lot of just being in shape and like when you see phantoms and shit, it's they attracted to that kind of thing. They would follow the armies. That kind of energy would follow the armies. But that's now with the guns to kill from far away, as many as possible to kill from far away. Anybody catch the new? They built a new type of. I guess it's a battleship. Anybody catch that shit? And they were talking about how it's going to be armed. They're supposed to make so many, and they only made a couple, but it looks completely different. I mean, imagine if that was solved during World War II or even the Vietnam era, how they would think that would be alien technology. But it's the same type of ship, but it's the newer shit. I don't know. I just, all these events, again, they've always tried to, look at the division they've always kept in Pakistan and in India. They've always kept a division there. People thinking they're different people just because different religions practice. How does that really make you that different? But they made it like that, where the people ain't united. Basically the same people. That shit in Gandhi is some kind of, I don't mean to make anybody mad, but the Gandhi shit was like, not to go over there. These like, they love me. No one can tell me I can't just go anywhere. What are you snorting and snorting back there? Okay, weirdo. Go do that somewhere else, weirdo. I'm gonna pop you. Now, then what? That's why you better not have peed on my shoes. I'm gonna be quite upset. Shouldn't have went in the closet. The curiosity got his ass locked in there. Earlier this night, I thought they was coming to get me. It was cops everywhere, about 10 cars. I was like, I thought this was it. I told my daughter, let's get behind the barricade. So I barricaded my whole house and had the barricades, all everything. And they wasn't here for me. They were here to take a barking dog across the hall for me. So me and my daughter had to put everything back. She wasn't very happy about that because she liked the way the house looked barricaded. She thought that was like a fort. But you never know. You never know when you need to barricade, right? Sometimes you just think you have to barricade. You're just sitting there, and then you look out the window, and you're just like, what's going on? Well, here they go, and I'm ready and stuff. Got the flak jacket on and everything, Kevlar helmet for no reason. Got all excited and for no reason. So, oh, don't say that. I told you one of the most comfortable. No, this might have been they wasn't even called the Shacks. Reebok kept making a shoe that was really the Shacks, and it was the last pair or the last model that was really the Shacks. And I found a pair when I lived here in 9 or 10. Remember, Shaq went to Kmart and was selling them bullshit shoes. I mean, whatever for children. But I remember my ex's cat pissed in them Shacks, and I had to throw them away. Could never get the smell out. And they were Reeboks were fairly comfortable until they went, more of a narrow hoop shoes. I hope he didn't know. I hope he really didn't. I won't be too happy with him. Oh, but it was funny. We get these like what they call side winds or sideline is what they call them. A few blew through, and it was amazing. Just these strong gusts, and I had to shut my windows because it was like my doors like rattling and shit, and it was like just really strong winds came through, and that's what they call them. But like a couple went through, and then they stopped. It was really really odd. Odd kind of day. I mean, pleasant day, pleasant. The weather's pleasant, so can't complain. Can't complain up here. Life has been smooth. So just being the best I can be today. I'll do the divination now. Hope everything is so. It is 13 platoons, 13 platoons, 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes, 8 uno, and we are on day 19. And day 19 would be shock. And shock or storm, that's the fractal, shock. One of the words I do pray about daily that I used. Storm, thundercloud, thunderbeam, transformation precedes full realization, and the energy going into Friday is from the west. So if you can benefit from that. The other name is Kuato, and this is the Kuato mask. Now, this mask, I'll give an example. So if you look at one thing that the omen did is the panther, is the jaguar, panther, whatever you want to call it. And what this turned into is called the werebaby, the downward turned face. So this is where the Yanni would be turning into the panther or coming out of it. More usually it represents turning into. And so this, by the time it became with the Toltec, it turned into that mask. So the werebaby symbol turned into shock, where that mask is the same representation of the werebaby. My book might be in there. Shows the distinction. So just that little bit of and this is called it shorty. This is serpentine. Um, in this card, we see Quato, the deity of the rain. In one hand, he holds a serpent that represents the flash of lightning. In the other hand, the axe that represents the strike of lightning. We also see drops of water. At the top, we see 19, a bowl containing corn seed that represents fertility. Talak, the superior deity of water of both Quato and Ato, are representation. For the Toltec psychology, the water represents the mind, the serpent symbolizes the body, the axe represents the identity or personality. The broader meaning of Quato is action of nurturing or fertilizing something that will bear fruit for future harvest. The card tells you that your dream is getting closer, but the seeds of your dream need nurturing actions to achieve their destiny. At the moment, you may be experiencing some anxiety about the results you want to achieve, but everything is a process, and one stage cannot happen before the previous stage have been completed. This means that there is no harvest without the previous planting of the seed and watering of the land. You need the spiritual power of rain to do this in your life. Start by being aware that you have already planted the seeds of what you are striving for. You have made some progress already, but those seeds need to be nurtured so that they can grow and yield their fruit in the future harvest. The message of Quato is about watering. It's also about timing. Don't make the mistake of judging your results by what you are seeing at the moment, because the process isn't completed. While the time of the harvest is getting closer, it has not arrived. Do not think you have failed, but do know that if you will fail if you don't take care of the following up of your dreams or your project. A deeper level of this card is telling you that you have within you the self to nurture. Perhaps you are not acknowledging it and using it in a way that is needed. By intimidating Quato, the deity of the rain, you have the life energy that is needed for anything to grow. Don't be shy or underestimate your power. Identify what your seeds are and what is in the terrain which you've planted them. Then let your life energy flow through appropriate actions into the land of those seeds that may evolve and you can achieve a rich harvest. Um, this might be a good one for people. Am I being exposed to new ideas, or is my mind stagnating in old thinking patterns? What could I do to open myself up to new ideas and perspectives? How open am I to the new ideas that are coming at me? Am I afraid to accept a new way of thinking out of my need to hang on to what is familiar for me? Um, who is getting close that I could cultivate a new relationship with? How could I nurture the relationship so that it can reach a more fulfilling state? Am I forgetting to be attentive and nurture my friendship with someone else? So this is what I send out. Uh, Tasha Z put a video out of Bobby. What's Bobby's last name? Hidden. I'll think about it in a second. I'm old man, but where Bobby was talking about, he brings up the omen or the Olmec, and how he says that like that is one book that did throw this science a loop. Again, one of the articles after the book came out, National Geographic came out with a book and showed the lands and showed the heads because they couldn't keep this a secret. Again, the lands have been noted by the Europeans since the 1880s is the first article. And it's a thing called the vortex axe. And it has this downward. It's called a clef. Clef is a hatchet, and it's a hatchet found in this style. And they didn't know what it was till almost 30, 40 years later. But it again, there's so many stories that it gets. Hey, Lorenzo, Did I tell you when I watched an episode of Different World that Whitney had a picture of a melanated Aztec? Oh, no, you never mentioned that. I think I remember seeing that now. That's interesting. They killed most of the Aztecs. They killed most of the Aztecs. They killed a lot of them. Bobby Hemmett, yeah, I saw that video on Instagram. Yeah, but Tasha was pushing, and it just threw them a loop on the histories where they couldn't quit lying on where people came from. Like they tried to lie before, they couldn't keep doing it. You know, the Jesse Jackson spell of African American got blown off the water, and with discernment used, again, you have to look at the stories. Turtle Gang is a cat that had all the manifest, or a great deal of manifest that's coming into America. And he's like, where's the slaves? There was never any slave shit. All that shit was made up. All that shit. I mean, Harriet Tubman is the worst of that shit. Now they want to put her, not a brother, not a man. Just talked about a great ball player. Person that didn't even exist. And then the name is tied into taking people off the farm and taking them to damn Liberia. So that's really the history. Can be traced. And that ain't nothing new. You know, they've been talking about that thing. But that's a slap in the brother's face. All the brothers that risked their lives fighting, and you tell me on this, maybe she was a teacher, but she couldn't read or write. Maybe she was a scout, but there's really no records of who she scouted for. So there's a lot of people. I mean, if it just was going to put a melanated person just to make people happy, put the lowest, well, the dollar's the lowest denomination, I guess the middle kind. But $20 don't mean $20 anymore. There you go, Smoke Toe. Don't get me started with that. you put me back on that spell. I'd be sitting there listening to it all night, like I'm listening to the blues. I mean, I love music. I listen to music every day, and different stuff. It's never the same kind of stuff. Different stuff. That's why I like one man, Siova, the technician. He liked some smooth music, which I'm glad to hear it. He put me onto some smooth music, and I'm glad. That's why I opened my mind to new music and new creation, new possibilities of something hitting you and grooving to it. Now there's low vibration music, no doubt. Like they was, I'm from months ago, almost 3 months ago now, where Quicksand is now doing well. And I guess they attacking the brother saying that he couldn't do the numbers, just coming on YouTube and doing almost 60 million, that he has to be some kind of industry plant. And it didn't look like it to me. That brother just hustled and he put the right vibration at the right time. Like my neighbors underneath, they've heard it a lot. And I heard them the other day playing. They played on the radio now too, but I'm just like, they had to have heard it from me, and like, that song ain't bad. So sometimes people just, it's the right moment, the timing, it just pushes it. Thing gets an energy of its own. It has something there that even after 3 months, it still is really still not even peaking yet. Because that's kind of how music is. Music is when it's in the moment and you have it and you had to possess it so you can keep hearing it over and over again, but then it keeps going. And for you, if you're a music collector, you keep collecting music. So the music is always changing. Almost daily now, the music changes daily. You put on some of the Apple stuff and just current music, it's like new stuff is always coming out. And so I like a little bit of everything. I like smooth music as well. Slova Clover spelling. uh, yeah, with Harriet, they said she was a teacher but couldn't read. She was a nurse and records but aiding anybody. Yeah, I mean, it's been that story though. But you can see when the Black History stuff came out. I've said this many times. Richard Pryor kind of just in his comedy saying when they first started coming around, talking about that, the Black History stuff, the African history stuff, trying to put that in people's heads. And by the time I was in high school, it was a high school class. My junior year, Black History was a high school class. And it's this same slavery narrative, Uncle Tom's Cabin shit that when we bought these books, we got these books in the early 70s. It was the same people made Ebony and Jet, Black History, the same old Lynch pictures, the same, like the Lynch picture that was up here in Duluth, the Lynch picture that's from Marion, Indiana, where it's a little dude look like Adolf Hitler's at the lynching. Look at the picture in Marion, Indiana, where they lynched the three dudes. And look at this, a dude who looked like Hitler that's pointing at him. He's looking in the camera, mean mug, and he's pointing to the dudes getting lynched. Looks like Hitler. Look it up. It's online. You shouldn't. Marion, Indiana. I think it was 4 of them. They killed 3. Maybe they just killed the 2. Just murked them. But that was a lot of fear. Didn't happen a lot of times. Oh, the artist you mentioned? Artist or Siova? Siova, the technician, is he's not an artist, he's a content creator. Siova, the technician. I think it's look that up. But you got to put the technician. But I think that's how he says his name, something like that. But technician, something like that. But he hit me to it was a couple songs. I guess another phone. I can't even think of the name of Brown Black Coffee though. I think was one of them. Nice jazz. So, and he if it's anybody content creator, get with that brother for sure. Oh yeah, get with that brother for sure. If you are type of, or even want to, your system, and even, gosh, there's so many different ways that using this kind of thing you can benefit. It's not just being a content creator, just even your own art. It's a lot of different ways that he knows and can show people how to put it together properly. And if you do want to be a content creator, that's one thing I admire about the Community Splash. He had worked on it a year before he put it in there. So he had been planning it, and then he came into his own platform. So that's a good thing. And he sees how to upgrade his equipment. He's upgraded his equipment. Check out the Community Splash if you're into mangas, anime. You get your feel there of a person that is in. All of my family were just readers, and so he's found where he knocks that stuff down reading it, so he understands it fully. And there's a anime, because of the creativeness of putting it together, there's a spiritual angle to it. They do a lot of occult, I'll be the first to admit, but just like Airbenders was one of the first animes to throw in the chakras and trying to understand how each level this is used. So there's a lot of spiritual type of wars that you find in anime. I'll say that, because that's what they're showing you. It's like Goku is the Monkey King. Remember, the one guy always calls him Monkey, but that's what Goku is. Goku is the Monkey King. That's why he has the tail, and his family, his people, had the tails. It's the Japanese version of the Monkey King, and this is more of the warrior priest king. Priest is the wrong word, but more of the warrior part of the king, just a pure, absolute warrior. So, but this is how you see this different type of creativeness going through a culture. Swept the Middle East, went from India, swept the Middle, Asia, swept Asia, where they each have their story of this type of being. So That's why I kind of those stories, Monkey King 1 and Monkey King 2, the TV series, but the movies, the one Monkey King is played by Jet Li. I don't know if people are hip to that one. I don't know if it's Monkey King 1 or 2, but one of them, Jet Li, plays the Monkey King. And it's just like to stop the Monkey King, they had to bury him under a mountain for 500 years. And he had so much power and he had so many weapons, but still they tricked him and he went into the mountain and they put a mountain on top of him. He couldn't move until they released him. And that goes like with the Hero Twins. The Hero Twins tricked two of their twin brothers. There's a tree, and once the brothers go so high in the tree just expands, and the tree is too high for a god to come down. That goes back into the trees that reached into the sky. That's one of the stories that they tell about the trees. Tree so high the god couldn't climb out of it. So that's just one of the many myths of how these different energies are used. And this serpentine, I mean, this is, again, they bound their heads to get out the reptilian brain. There was some merit and benefits to this. Again, this is Omen, so we know the Omen did it. They don't publish a lot of the Omen bodies, even though they found them. But this is one of the things that the Mayan did as well. And you might say, well, the Aztecs didn't do it. And that's the thing I wanted to say about the names. The Inca had different names, but the names of the Mayan and the Toltec, Zapotec, and the Omen would have been very similar. But again, the names of the Aztecs were different because they came from a different part. And the Incas, they had formal names, not just the month and the being of the month. Their names. So I know I said, but those countries were a little different. I've been studying a lot of Peru lately, and Peru has a very ancient history as well. A culture called the Chauvin. Some of these cultures are so old, but they left a little bit, and you can see their type of artwork or their fractals, as I call it. And a lot of it is I caught a couple of words that show the Omen influence. Just reading the words and way they describe certain things and certain of the art. And I know the art when I see the art and the art is talked about. So I found that today as well, studying about Peru. So I was like, their influence was even that far north. And I know we find them in the Americas as well. So these are some things that everybody can research. If you want to see for yourself the avenues and the influence, and to say where the real culture is. And I don't take sides on the information. I don't take sides. I can still be an ally with somebody that feels completely different, and that's okay. I can see doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A person's rhetoric doesn't change my coolness with them. I guess that's the best way to say it. And you don't have to agree to be cool with people. That's the thing. Is a lot of people think because you disagree, you have to be enemies. You don't have to be enemies. You don't have to be enemies because you disagree. It's like you live on your information. You live on your information. I mean, if you believe that you live on a flat plane, well, you have to practice that. Like when you practice that, then when you look into your spiritualness has to be with that in mind. And I don't know if people fully understand that you can't say, you have to really stay into that state of mind, because the spiritualness would be slightly different than if you think you are in this moving plane. So you have to put yourself out of that mind, is my point. You can't think that. And not to make it confusing, it's like you really have to live that. So this is what I mean. If you're talking to a person or you hear a person and they think they come from the ball plane and they're telling you about a experience that they've had, you really couldn't look to have that same experience, because if they're coming from the reality of the ball plane, in your coming reality of the flat plane, it would be almost impossible. Your experience would not be the same. So my point is, don't even try to compare that, because it would be different for you both. But you both could still meet in the middle and say, okay, I can't really look at it from the way you look at it, but I can look at it to what's right for me to look at it. So I have to keep myself here, even though it's my spiritual practice, because I can't flip-flop in my spiritual practice. That's to me my main point is. You have to stay in that all the time to benefit from it. So you can't take little bits and parts of each. You can. That's you can. You really can. But to move the most spiritually, you would have to keep yourself in that mind frame. And I think when I talked to Brother Sanchez a couple years ago, and he said he was talking, he was like, yeah, I'm standing on the flat earth. That's how you really have to be. You really have to be like that. I was like, yeah, that's a good answer. Because you have to always be in their mindset. But even times I hear that brother where he talks about experiences, but then he flips the planes of the ball plane. And that's the compromise. So you can't flip-flop. You have to stay in that to get the most out of it. That's my point. So doesn't matter. I ain't here to attack anybody. I'm here to make. I'm like Fred. That's why I got Fred as my little thing. Anybody that wants to build, that feels they oppressed. we don't feel oppressed. We's the most richest oppressed people in the world. but the point is, if you feel that there's something there that you see works against your energy, that's the people that I want to come into the research, because that's what it is. It's research. Because even when you could be 100 years old, you could get your little granddaughter just to read you a little story about current events or whatever. Still would be you absorbing something. So it's not that you're hungry all the time for knowledge. Like Julia was, just give me any kind of magic. I don't give a fuck what kind of magic it is. I just want magic. Then she gets turned out by a god. And the thing is you can't just open yourself up, because you might get turned out by a god. And then you have to look back as my quest was for the magic for the better good, not just any magic. But at the time, she was open up to just any magic. But she was denied at the other place. So it changed her whole plan around. She didn't have patience because she already saw she had gifts. So that was a clear case of you get what you ask for. So find something spiritual that is in it for you, that is you, that you truly benefit from, and it comes from you, not anybody's, your woman is this or no. You have to see what's in your heart and what your heart is called, what's calling your heart. Because I've watched men try to fake it with women, spiritually, and it puts you spiritually behind. You don't have to be spiritually behind. Be a man. Practice what you believe. There's nothing wrong with being sociable. If your partner believes a certain way and you're social, for you to be by her side, that social responsibility, that's cool. That's not being hypocritical. You're just helping her participate in what she practices. Doesn't mean you have to practice it. An example is I've been into churches where they go up there and say, take a drink. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that today. Not practicing that today. I'm not taking a drink of anything. I'm here to support what I'm here to support, but I'm not participating in that ritual. And sometimes people are quite shocked that you're strong enough to sit back and say, hey, time out. That's for them. That's not for me, baby. You understand? I mean, if you can dig it, 'cause that's the game of life. That's the game of staying balanced. Shouldn't try to save anybody. Captain Save a whole days is over. Captain Save a bum. Both ways. Save yourself. Work on yourself. And you find a balance, then you live the balance. You live the balance, the give and take of life. Like Richard Pryor says, it's hard enough just being a human being. Then you try to bring someone, and that could be a lot of other minds you bring in. The old ways was, especially the people that lived on the coast, the East Coast of America. You married, you moved in with her family. Remember, a guy told me that when I was quite young. He's like, yeah, when you get married, you move in with her family. You're around her family more than you are around yours. In a lot of cases, that's true. You become part of her family. Even if you was in the line for a chief, once you married, you was going to go to her side to be a chief over there. It's humid. It is humid tonight. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Oh, their shit is Uncle Sam's Curse. Oh my goodness. I love that song. Uncle Sam's Curse. That shit hit hard. Man, I wish I could think of the words of that right now. I should look it up. I don't think it's on this phone. It was on my older phone. My son broke. But Uncle Sam's Curse. Yeah, that used to be one of my high vibration songs I used to listen to every day. Uncle Sam's Curse. I was hearing brothers rap Colors, and it was very similar to that. Uncle Sam's Curse, and that's the thing. Columbia, documented discovery. I know people don't. You got to understand that this is being practiced constantly. Alloidial properties is what we should start thriving for. It's stupid that you can buy a property and you still got to pay taxes on it. That makes no sense. You buy a car and technically you don't even own the car. You don't own anything. You have a stake in it, but you don't even own anything. And that's true, but it's crazy. It's really true, but it's crazy. Above the Law album. Oh yeah, that Above the Law album was nice. Yeah, I think them is the only two songs you can get from it too. Is Uncle Sam's Curse and Captain Save-A-Ho. I don't think, but yeah, I had that because I was living in Minneapolis and I was living in Michigan. So I was kind of going back and forth constantly, hustling both places. And I remember that was one summer. I had a Bronco. I had an OJ Bronco. My 26-year-old son was born. We put him in the OJ Bronco. That the top could come off. Y'all remember them? That must have been shit. He was born in 96. It was 90, 91 maybe. Had a Boss engine, had a Mustang, big V8 engine in it. That was like the hanging vehicle back in my 90s days in Minneapolis. Just hanging out, hooping, going to games. Yep, Black Superman. I'm my mama's own Black Superman. There we go. Yep, Black Superman. Yeah, I'm my mama's own Black Superman. Yes, the other day I learned a lesson where I got to save energy for myself instead of using it for someone else, even if it's a family member. Yeah, you can't get that energy out. You got to conserve it. But yeah, Black Superman. Yeah, Black Superman. I'm my mama's own Black Superman. I was on the side of hip hop where when it first came out, it evolved, and I just always liked the new stuff that came out. even when the stuff started coming from the West Coast. It was still good stuff. Now, I didn't like all the bitches and hoes shit that later came that had an agenda. It turned into rap instead of hip hop. But that was the business decisions. But yeah, Lorenzo, the new Captain America. There you go. Ethan. But yeah, Lorenzo, you do have to save your energy because people will try to vampire off you. They really will. They'll try to vampire off you. And you got to be aware of that. So protect your energy. It's like in the fight, protect yourself at all times. That's what they tell you. So if you accidentally get knocked out not looking, what do they tell you? Protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself at all times. That's how it is. And you can feel that people try to do that to you. You know, you feel it. What's their point of communicating with you? And then you catch it. You're like, yeah, this person is trying to feed on me, no doubt. So just be wise of it. I'm running out of stuff to say tonight, guys. So maybe, and I do have a busy day tomorrow. I am picking up a friend. It's going through it, so got to give them a little hand just to make sure they get home and get comfortable. Yeah, and so a little bit of moving around, tomorrow. So this might be a night to going about an hour and a half. That's plenty of rhetoric from this old man. But I enjoy it, and I thank people that come on. That album had the HBO Attica Rise movie as the interludes throughout. Wow, okay. Wow, I didn't know that, PJ. That's interesting. Oh, and Ethan, okay, you saying the new Captain America is the brother. Yeah, I haven't watched that much of that. That album had the HBO Attica Riot as the interlude throughout. Okay, yeah, I could dig that. I think I did catch that too. I caught that true. I was listening to his brother, and I was looking at his name, and I was like, MC Breeze, but his name wasn't MC Breed, because Breeze was a family in Flint, but his name was Breeze. And I was like, who is this dude? And I listened to the song, I'm like, yeah, I still don't know who this dude is, but the names were so close. It got me at first. It's like Breeze and Breed. I'm like, wow. What to say? I'm the BREEERD. Put my name on it. Motorola phone. MC Breed. That was Tupac's guy. And he didn't, Breed died, very young man. Makes you wonder. He did I got to get mine. You got to get yours. Wasn't that with Tupac? And Breeze died a young man. Had a few songs out, but he died a young man. So it makes you wonder, was he a sacrifice for fucking with Tupac? Just makes you wonder. That kind of thing. So, well, guys, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I thank you for joining me. I will be here Friday. The energies are starting to move tonight. MC Breed was my guy back then. Yeah, PJ. I mean, my cousin went to school with them older breeds. So that breed was a little younger than us, but he was one cat that we knew. And in Flint at one time, Flint was actually a decent city that they allowed, like other cities, to be destroyed. Take away all them good paying jobs. Flint was a beautiful city. And yeah, well, thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, as always. I'm trying to make it better. Yeah, it was. It makes me believe he was sacrificed. Yeah, I think he was sacrificed too. Because they say he died of kidney disease. And then you look at how many rappers around the same time was all having some type of kidney disease. Now, again, bad bad diets and stuff can give you diabetes. You know, I've got people around me that had that shit. I understand that too. So he could have been suffering from that. Hey, Crazy Sarge, I'm just about to sign off, but thank you for joining me. I did since I got you, Crazy Sarge. What I did is I made a mixture. I used this kind of CBD, 250 milligrams, and I took some of the powder and I kept it in powder form, and I wiped it in, and I put it. I still got it on my feet, and I feel some results. And you probably can't even see it on camera, but my knuckles, if you saw them, they're quite dark. And so um, I don't know. It's feeling pretty good. Not saying it's just a miracle thing, but the two mixed together. I already knew that the sugar, but with this CBD, it actually feels a little. So I'm going to keep working with it. Try to see the best formula. They found him face down in the snow, if I remember correctly. Oh, wow! I didn't know that because I read a thing. He was in somebody's house. He wasn't home though. Remember, he wasn't home. I thought that was odd. He died in somebody else's house, but that's interesting. They found him outside. Wow, didn't know that. Wow. But yeah, Crazy Sarge, when I come up with the right formula, I already know I'm gonna go to the dollar store and get some more cards, and I want to put a bunch of those together too, because I think people could benefit from them cards. And let me show you. Let me grab the one I did work on. And there's another part of it too. Now, what I knew would happen is I put it too thick, so a lot of that was too thick came off, and I could still use it. But you could actually use this for scrying. You could probably use this as scrying too. So I'll see the different type of blacks. I'm going to work with the different types and see that. That's another. I know Bobby, him and them was trying to sell these little black papers like that, but might be a different possibility too. And this was just they just printed some shit, and they was trying to say these was $1 for scrying. I think this would be because it's a real crystal. It's actually a crystal paint is what it's going to turn into. I think it would be a lot better for scrying than that, but definitely to put on your Wi-Fi system. This I'm gonna put this together, and this is gonna be one of the best things for that. Very cheaply too. They shout that video out in Andre Rison's house, the same house that Left Eye burned down. Tupac tried to holler at Left Eye when he and her and Andre together. Can you get away on me against the world? Was directed by her. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I'll be melting tomorrow. If my partner helps me, I think I'll do it live. If not, I'll make a video. Cool. Yeah, make a video of that. And I'll share it. And yeah. Because even some of the silver I got, like you were saying, get the alloys, melt this shit down. And yeah, I could even do the silverware like that. Probably be better to keep the silverware where it is. But that's another possibility. So this is all the alchemy. And my thing is, again, I know how again, messy this looks getting your hands dark. But I would say at night, when you're sitting there, this could be a great alternative because I know the sugar tightens your hands. I was hearing somebody, what was Craig Fax was talking about when you look at certain women and they got all the injections, and then the necks they got on the injections, but you look at the hands and you see the old lady hands. But when I was applying it, I really felt a tightening. Again, this is CBD and sugar powder, not the paste I made. And this had some of that, but the paste, just the pure paste. So if I was to add, I haven't added the paste to the CBD lotion yet, but it had more of a tightening of the hands, of the skin, keeping that skin nice and elastic feeling instead of droopy. Because I know like with hand injuries, what you see is your hands want to close. Your hands naturally want to stay like that instead of your hands being out. Part of arthritis is, make you have claw hands. But I just noticed when I put the original putty on my hands felt more like they wanted to stay open. So if you ever notice that kind of thing, that your hands want to do this. This seems to be pretty good for that. For most of the silverware, it's just it just handles nowadays. For most of the silverware, it's just the handles nowadays. Okay, yeah. Nowadays, not much PJ. Okay, most of the silverware, the handles nowadays. I understand what you're saying. Because a lot of knives wouldn't be, the knife part would only be stainless. It wouldn't be, because you couldn't really have a silver knife. It would bust. That's why the silver forks are a problem too, because the silver forks could break on you compared to the silver plate. And the silver plate, I mean, the shit slashed through. They still, silver plate is still worth $8 to $10 per silver plate. And then there's gold plated silverware too. I remember my great grandparents had some. They were married 50 years, and they had real gold. I remember they had a cabinet of just real gold stuff. Now I think the silverware was gold plate, but they had gold, like gold plates. They had gold bowls. And I remember when I was young seeing all this stuff. They had it in a big cabinet, all this gold. And I was just amazed how much gold was in there. I was like, wow. And then as they got older and, they passed, I don't know what happened to all that stuff. Somebody in the family got it. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I will be back for Friday night special. I still got to talk to the Waken one. I think she's still mad at me because she sent me a text, so I guess she's not too mad at me. But I still want to bring her on. Again, make the best show I can, and so I try. And I thank everybody that comes to check me out. I really do. I appreciate the interest and support, because without the support, I mean, it's really nothing. And so I appreciate it. I try to do my best to make something interesting every night. I brag because there's really never any topic. I kind of wing it as I go. There's some things that I feel passionate about, I want to bring up. But for most of it, I just bring it out. I mean, I kind of follow the energy. If some days the energy is into sports, I can roll with that. People more spiritual, I can try to roll with that. I move the way the energy moves. And that's all I can do. So, as you know, I always end with a homeboy Eshawn's poem, and it goes a little something like this. I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you, everyone. Till we meet again.